Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our today's 15 minutes overview of some significant aspects of hybridization of mobile working machine. First, some information about ARADEX. ARADEX was founded in 1989. We are located near Stuttgart, and our goal was to shorten the time to transfer knowledge from research to industrial major products. And our focus was to control and electric drives for various kinds of production machines, like laser cutting, milling, grinding, printing, and so on. Induced by the climate change, we shifted our focus to mobile application, especially to functional vehicles and mobile working machines. In 2008, we presented our first generation of vector power mobile inverters. Our mission is to, based on new energy in total, are more economic than classical diesel-based solutions. And we see the key in innovations which help to bring the machines to an improved level of performance. Well, we think two assumptions. The first is that pure battery-based solutions for many machines with a high energy demand over the day are not a feasible solution. For these applications, we see hybrid solutions as feasible. In the first step, even based on diesel engines, and later step, based on new energy solutions. But beside the main focus of this presentation, we want to give you a short outlook to the world of new functions. Derived from our experience in drives for production machines, we are sure that electrified drivetrains and propulsion in mobile working machines will open the door for new optimized functionality. We will see later on what I mean with this. So let's have a short look to what happened about 50 years ago. In the late 1960s, in the Western world, we had a disruptive technology change, especially on the excavators. The limitation of hydraulic solutions in former times were solved, and as a result, the hydraulic-operated excavators pushed a high percentage of the market of rope-operated excavators away. The main reason was the much improved controllability of the movements and so much higher performance on the excavators. This disruption caused about 13 of the main 50 manufacturers of bigger excavators to disappear, and new players entered the market up to now. We expect that the now ongoing electrification will create a similar disruption. In this presentation, we want to give a first impression what can be possible by the electrification and hybridization. Well, the company ARADEX is located near Stuttgart, Germany. Since 2019, we are part of the Weichai Group, which gives us the synergy to combine our business of high voltage electrics with hydraulics by Linde and other complementary products of the European Weichai Group. In our headquarters near Stuttgart, we are focused on development, application, engineering, sales and support. The production is made by partners in Europe for the European market and in China for the Asian market. We see our power converters, inverters and electric motors as a link between the energy source and storage and the application-specific drive and propulsion demands. So on the one hand, we must cover the demands of a big scale of different working machines. On the other hand, we must be able to connect to various energy sources and storage systems. So we see us as responsible to offer our customers a future-proof subsystem with an easy change, for example, from a combustion engine to a fuel cell without having a big impact to the high voltage system of the mobile working machine itself. Just two examples what we did in the last years. Here we see an electrified dozer. It's a pure battery solution This pure battery version is developed for some special niche applications only, like inner city work, but the solution is completely modular. As a diesel hybrid version, with downsized diesel engine, we feed into the main market. And the fuel-based system also feeds into some future markets. So a development, 3 applications. And even in the diesel-based system, we could reduce the fuel consumption by about 30%. Well, the next one we see here is a dumper. I think it's the biggest one in the world already. 283 ton, is made as a technical demonstrator and as a kind of a mobile test bench. ARADEX delivered the DC-DC converters to couple the 4 built-in fuel cells to the high voltage battery. And we realized the power management of the 4 fuel cells. To operate them, each fuel cell of its dedicated best point of operation. Well, hydrogen will become an important factor of all new energy solutions. There are several possibilities to use hydrogen. If you compare, for example, the fuel cell on the left side here to be seen with a combustion engine, both have the individual advantages. The fuel cell will offer the better overall efficiency, but on the other hand, the combustion engines are major, economic, and available even for very heavy-duty applications. So our conclusion is that both systems have a future, and ARADEX supports both. Now, first have a look to the so-called parallel hybrids. They call it parallel hybrid because the electric motor works parallel to the combustion engine. With inverter and the battery, we can realize a power boost. So you see higher power to the machine and partial recuperation of the energy. So we can downsize the diesel engine and we can increase same time the peak power to the operated machine. As a main result, we can reduce fuel consumption and increase the performance of the machine. A special version of parallel hybrid is what we call a double shaft AC induction motor. This shaft of the motor is strong enough to transmit the own torque by the electric motor plus the torque of the combustion engine. So we can use the AC induction motor without the necessary gearbox to be coupled with the combustion engine. Because of using an AC induction motor instead of a permanent magnet motor, we have another advantage. In case of any trouble of the power electronics, this will not have generated voltage, or especially will not create an unwanted impact to the torque of the combustion engine. So this means in case of electronic trouble, the conventional system continues to work. One example for a very good application of these parallel hybrids are pumps. So let's say pumps we need a high kind of certifications or a high need of availability, like for the fire defending, draining, and so on. We see here, if we use the clutch and this motor, we have several points of operation we can use. The pure combustion engine, the pure electric engine, both combined, and so on. So in case of trouble of the electric system, the combustion engine still drives the pump. And in case of trouble of the combustion engine, for the reserve time of the battery, we can operate the pump just by the battery. So this is a very good example to combine the strength of both systems. Well, now let's have a look to the so-called serial hybrids. In the serial hybrid solution, a much downsized combustion engine coupled with an electric generator and inverter supplies the average power demand of the machine. A high voltage battery works as a power averager and must be able to provide high power in discharge mode and, let's say, medium power in charge mode. The main advantages are much reduced fuel consumption and the whole spectrum of possible new functions offered by electrified drivetrains and propulsion. Depending on the application, the combustion engine can be downsized to a level which makes it maybe easier to fulfill the exhaust gas requirements, especially if we take the very smooth operation of the machine and the reduction to selected points of operation into the account. PDU you see on the right side means power distribution unit, normally realized as an enclosed cabinet and containing relays, fuses, switches, and so on. Well, as an example, we see here the already seen electric dozer. The rope drives are realized electro-mechanical, and currently we work on the improved functionality of the propulsion with the clear target to make the machine easier to operate, even with less skilled operators. Well, we are electric people, but in some application, the need of motors with a very high torque density in a very low available space is necessary. So for these demands, hydraulic motors can be the choice of the day. In such applications in perspective, to increase the efficiency and to lower the CO2 impact, the solution can be to split into two hydraulic subsystems. One for the propulsion, which we see here on the slide, and another one similar for the functions. So therefore, we need two electric drivetrains, and we can operate each of them in an optimized way. Well, and now let's go to the fuel cells. In our view, we use a fuel cell as just a version of several hybrids. The fuel cell delivers an average power demand, like before the combustion engine, and this enables us to use a smaller and so cheaper fuel cell. Regarding power electronics, the only difference is that the fuel cell creates a DC voltage, and the combustion engine with a motor-based generator generates an AC voltage. We solve this by replacing the generator's inverter by a DC-DC converter to connect the fuel cell to the high voltage system. So very small impact to the existing layout of the machine. As an example, we see here a 26-ton truck, which is used for garbage collection. And this can operate by pure battery for some kilometers, but in the normal way uses hydrogen cells, fuel cells to make the operation of the vehicle the whole day. Well, now let's have a short overview to the point of functions. With our experience of many realized drive systems for production machines in the last 30 years, ARADEX expects new function as well to be a game changer in the markets of mobile working machines. To support our customers, ARADEX team integrated a high-performance PLC and some powerful analyzing and diagnostic tools in the vector power traction inverters. And 90% of the available processing performance of the PLC can be used for your dedicated application. The cycle time, and so the reaction time of 0.5 millisecond is standard. With your experience and your innovative ideas, you can create your own added value functions for your machines and your customers, not depending if you want to develop the software yourself or we do this for you. Just to have a small impression what's possible, we show an experiment. This tiny lady touches a vehicle. The vehicle has a weight of 4.2 ton, moves slowly forward, and the girl just touches with one finger to the vehicle with two different forces. You see here the impact on the red line. It's shown here the smaller one and now a bigger touch, and is done without using any kind of sensors, just used by the internal virtual sensor technology software in our vector power. Well, two possibilities. One, the girl has superpower, or we have some tricky functions inside our inverters. And just to demonstrate you what's possible, now have a look what we think about possible functions. Especially in this virtual sensor, we see big spectrum of possible new improved functions. And just some examples to be seen here. Maybe an optimized chain drive. This is what we work already for elongated chain lifetime, reduced energy consumption, and so on. Optimized cutting and drilling processes of such machines, improved slip control for wheel loaders or some others. So many things are possible. And maybe together with you, we find new USPs for your application. And under the rules of confidentiality, our engineers will go into a non-binding discussion with you and help to create new solutions. So our office challenge us with your demands and ideas. And now, thanks for your attention. Challenge us with your application, and we see us in our discussion round. Thanks. Bye-bye.